Hey everybody. So I've had a few people ask me to do a cooking video again. And hi, I don't know if I just started or not. This whole live thing's a little weird with this new setup, so I don't know if I just started. If I did, I apologize. If you missed my hello at first. So I had a couple people tell me that they wanted me to do another cooking video, which again, I find is really funny. But I figured today was just as good a day as any because I've already got a bra and some makeup on. So there you go. You're welcome. So I have never made vodka sauce before, but I am going to attempt to make it tonight, and you get to see. So I am trying to figure out how to make this. Ah, there you guys are. How do I see who's watching? I don't like this new live. I don't know if any of you guys have done this new live, but I don't like it. So I'm sorry. I see that there are 3 of you, but I don't know who's watching. So if you want to say hi, I'd love to say hi back. Anyway, I am trying my hand tonight at vodka sauce, homemade vodka sauce. So I've got some stuff measured out already, and it's a long process, so I'm not going to be able to show you the entire thing, unfortunately, because it takes an hour to simmer and stuff, and I'm not going to stand here and bore you guys for an hour. So I'll show you the beginning part, and then I'll either pick it back up later or I'll show you pictures or something. So I've got my stuff measured out. I just need to go over and get my tomatoes. I got everything else over here. So I am using my favorite, the San Marzano peeled tomatoes. The original recipe did call for crushed, but I like these, and then I crushed them myself. Any of you guys that watched my homemade tomato sauce video saw me use these tomatoes, and I just crushed them by hand. So I just, let me take my ring off. Just kind of get your hand in there. I can show you. I don't know if I can do enough for you to be able to see. But I just kind of get my hand in there because these are peeled tomatoes, Roma style, so they're like the little eggplant shaped ones. And then I just squish them up and get them all into little pieces. And in my pan, or my pot rather, already, I have 2 sticks of salted butter. I am making a double batch from what the original recipe called for. So the original recipe only called for 1 stick. I'm making a double batch tonight because I'm hoping to freeze half for another time. So I'm doubling everything. So whatever measurements you hear me say, that's a double recipe. So that is my tomatoes are now all crushed up. Now in my pan, or my pot rather, sorry, gotta rinse my head. In my pot rather, like I said, I've got 2 sticks of salted butter. And oh crud, I did not chop the onion yet. You guys are gonna get to watch me cry. I had meant to do that before I got online. Whoops. Oh well. Gives us a good time to chat, right? This is why I don't do a cooking show for real, because I'm super unprepared. And yeah, just that's why. This is why I couldn't be famous, or shouldn't be famous, or at least not famous for having my own show or something like that. So I learned a new trick online, of course, because don't we learn anything online anymore? About how to not cry. How to not cry when you are cutting onions. And it makes perfect sense, and I don't know why I never thought of it before. But it says to leave the root end intact and just cut everything else. And if you leave that intact, you'll cry less. And that actually really did work for me last time. So we're going to give it a try again. Hopefully I won't cry too much for you guys then. So the original recipe did call for a half an onion, but as I said a few minutes ago, because I'm doubling this recipe, I do have a whole onion that I'm going to chop up. This happens to be a yellow onion because it's what I have left from another recipe that I bought things for, and didn't end up using all of the onions. So it's what I have. The original recipe that I used, or that I found for vodka sauce, did not have a specific type of onion listed. So I'm hoping that yellow onion is going to work okay. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. There are going to be so many other flavors going on that I don't know that you're really going to notice this one by itself. So get this nice and peeled. What are you all making for dinner tonight? in my house, I've been trying just for a little bit of planning purposes, so I feel like I have some control over my life anymore. I've been doing a weekly menu. You can actually see it. Oh, wrong shoulder, Billy. Everything's backwards on that board right there. Although tonight's is different than what it actually says on the board because we ended up making more tacos on Tuesday than we had originally planned to. And so we ran out of half of the chop meat that we had, or ground beef, whatever you guys call it. I'm an East Coaster, so it's chop meat, sorry. And so I didn't have any left. Tonight was supposed to be cheeseburger mac from scratch. But since I didn't have any more hamburger for the cheeseburger mac, I decided rather to try my hand at vodka sauce. I've been wanting to try making vodka sauce for a really long time now, like years. And I just never really found a recipe that I thought was good, and kind of was intimidated by it. It seemed like it would be really, really difficult to do. It seemed pretty involved and whatever. But I thought the same thing about Alfredo sauce. And when I made Alfredo sauce for the first time, it actually turned out pretty great. So I thought, well, maybe this is just as easy. So Facebook Big Brother is always listening and watching. And I was just saying the other day, not the other day, maybe a couple weeks ago, about how I wanted to try vodka sauce and couldn't find anything and whatever. And then lo and behold, just a few days later, what comes across my news feed but a photograph of somebody's post on one of like the mom sites or whatever, that not local, but like one of the national mom sites, with a vodka sauce recipe. And I thought, one of the few times that Big Brother Facebook was helpful. Thank you. So here we are. The original recipe, like I said, didn't have a whole lot of detail to it. It didn't specify the type of onion. It didn't specify a lot of measurements for things, which is actually exactly the way I cook. Maybe that's why I gravitated towards that recipe, because it's how I cook. I'm not sure, but here we are. I felt like that recipe would give me a lot of freedom and leeway to modify if I chose. Hi, Chrissy. What are you guys having for dinner tonight? So yeah, I felt like a basic recipe would give me a lot of leeway to tweak. Any of you guys that know me know I like to do that. I like to kind of put my own spin and flavor on certain things. I like to modify based on things that I like better or my family likes better or whatever. So I liked that it was just a basic recipe. So as I said, I'm just sitting here chopping onions while we talk, and notice, not crying. That little trick works. I'm telling you, do it. Saved the mascara, girls. Oh, I almost dropped half the onion on the floor. It seems like such a silly little thing, but it really does work. Yay, science, I guess. So I am actually going to be, lentil soup, yum. I love lentils. When, I forget where I was going. That happens to me a whole lot. So I will be doing vodka sauce over radiator noodles. Those are like the little flowery shaped ones. Those are one of the kind that my kids like the most. I happen to have super picky kids, and somehow, not really sure how, the universe was playing like a silly joke on me or something. I ended up with one kid who doesn't like mashed potatoes and melted cheese, and one kid who doesn't like pasta. How the hell are they my kids? I don't understand. But that's my plight. So I'm very limited on the kinds of pastas that I can make, because then I get one that gets complaining about it. So yeah. So I'll be serving radiator, which again is one of our favorites, and it's actually one of my favorites too, so I don't really mind using that one a lot. We also will do tortellini or ravioli. They both really like those. And angel hair pasta, or angel hair spaghetti rather. What's interesting is Gavin will eat angel hair like it's coming out his ears, but he doesn't like regular spaghetti. I'm like, dude, it's like the diameter is not really that different. Why? I don't understand. But, picky as picky does. So here we are. So radiator and angel hair it is. And 9 times out of 10, it's butter and cheese. Don't make a sauce, Mom. Which makes me really sad because, you know, love to cook. Butter and cheese doesn't really involve a whole lot of cooking. You melt some freaking butter. Hey, Tina, what are you guys having for dinner tonight? Or did you already eat for it's 7 o'clock for you guys? I just realized. I am making homemade vodka sauce for the first time. If you missed the beginning, I have been wanting to try to do that for a long time, and decided that during this quarantine, I am going to try and do some things I've never done before and challenge myself, you know? So here we are. I hope it comes out good because I'm planning to make a double batch and freeze half of it for another time. But we're not big drinkers here in this house. And so I happen to have vodka in the house right now. Jason got a bottle as a gift from a friend actually back, I think, at Christmas time. And we still have it. And I just opened it, I believe. Or maybe he had one screwdriver, I think, out of it or something like that. But yeah, we don't drink much here. So that vodka has just been sitting there and sitting there. And I said to Jason one day, we're not ever going to drink that. I should just make vodka sauce. And he's like, yes, why have you never made vodka sauce before? And I said, I don't know. I didn't have a recipe. Let me find one. And so here we are. And I told a story earlier how Big Brother Facebook was listening and blessed me with this recipe after we had been talking about it. So here we are. Onion is pretty much chopped, left the root completely intact, and no tears. Yes, that's a knife in front of my face. I know what I'm doing. Every time Jason sees me do something like that, or like cut like a bagel where I'm holding it like this, he's like, ugh. I got this. I know what I'm doing. I've been in the kitchen for a very long time. Do you doubt my mad skills? Come on. Who are you talking to? So I am now going to saute the onion in that butter. So again, for anybody who joined earlier, oh, you ate pierogies. Oh, yum. That's another thing I want to try homemade. I actually have a recipe pinned for those, but they seem a little intimidating too. So I'm kind of scared, but I want to try those to do homemade. If you missed in the beginning, I'm making a double recipe here, or a double batch rather. So I've got 2 sticks of butter in my pot with now that whole onion chopped. And so I am just going to saute that until they are golden brown, and then add some other seasonings and things. I guess I can go through that right now while we're kind of waiting for that to get warm. I need a bigger kitchen. That's my problem. I need a bigger kitchen. I kind of hate my kitchen. Just saying. I hate it. It's small and it's not set up very well. I kind of love my little island in the middle, but other than that, not a fan of the kitchen. Oh, for vodka sauce, you have a good recipe? I would love to have it. I found this. Oh, yuck! I found this one by accident online, and what I liked about it was that it was very basic. There wasn't really a whole lot of measurement and stuff in it, and that's how I cook. You know, I mean, I just throw stuff in, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and let's see how it tastes. But I would love to have a actual recipe to work off of. So if you don't mind sharing, I would love that. Okay, so while that's getting starting to sweat down, I did my 2 cans of the San Marzano crushed tomatoes, or these are peeled tomatoes rather, but then I hand crushed them. And I'll be adding some garlic. Yes, it's minced already in the jar. It's not fresh garlic. I use a lot of garlic in a lot of things. And it is just more convenient and time conscious, or whatever you want to say, to buy it this way than to buy it fresh. It just is. So criticize me if you want, whatever. I don't care. It's actual real garlic. It's not like it's fake or anything. It's just already, the process is done for me. Most of the time with onions, I do the same thing, and I keep frozen onions because I can't be bothered with trying to chop onions all the time. But I happen to have an onion left over from something that we used. Jason actually made sausage and peppers the other night. And so we had fresh onions, and that's what I had left over. But otherwise, it would have been frozen in that too. So we'll be using some of that. No measurements, again, on the garlic. So because this is a double recipe, I'm probably going to throw several spoonfuls in there. But anybody who knows me knows that garlic is life to me. So the one thing that makes me sure that I'm not a vampire. salt, garlic, onion powder, Kelly. Even more garlic because it said garlic powder. And black pepper. It did call for onion salt. I don't keep onion salt in the house. I keep salt and I keep onion powder, and then I just use them how I need to. So there you go. And then what makes the sauce? I've got 2 cups of vodka here. So making a regular batch, obviously that would be 1 cup. So once the onion is golden brown, we're going to be adding the garlic and the spices and let those kind of marry for just a couple of minutes before we add the vodka. I'm not sure what it's going to smell like up in here cooking vodka. I've never done that before. In the measuring cup right now, it smells super strong and like I want to pass out. Not a vodka fan, but well, actually I should take that back. I am a vodka fan, just not straight vodka. It has to be mixed with something. It's very strong straight, at least for me. So I don't remember where I was going with that. See, happens to me a lot. This is my whole day. This is my entire day. Welcome to Kelly's World. I've got my temp on pretty high. I'm up at like 7 out of 9, just because I really want to get these going. I feel like I lost some time because I did not pre-prep the onions like I had planned to, so sorry about that. But the house is now starting to smell good, which is awesome. I love the smell of cooking onions. It's one of my favorite things. And it's really funny because for a long time I didn't like onions as a kid, and now like I want them in everything. They're amazing. So we'll see. It's getting full, the pot already, like the whole bottom. I've got that much stuff at the bottom already. Let me see if I can show you. The delicious. Too bad you can't smell it. So let me see if I can pick you up without touching the screen because my laptop now has a touch screen and I do it to myself all the time. So there's my onions. There you go. Last week I tried a couple of new recipes too. So I did homemade crab cakes in the waffle iron, which turned out really great. Crab meat is MFing expensive, by the way. Holy crap. Especially if you don't want to use that imitation shit, which for crab cakes I was not going to do. So we ended up getting canned stuff like you would get for tuna. It was okay. I think it would have been a hell of a lot better if I had gotten fresh crab meat. I'll say that. But they turned out pretty good. What else did I make last week? Something else I tried like for the first time and they turned out really good and I don't remember. See, and because it's a dry erase. Oh, that way. It's a dry erase. It's not there anymore. This week was nothing spectacular. I tried a new recipe yesterday. Wasn't that big of a fan, but it's I think maybe because I made some modifications. It was a Sweet Baby Ray's chicken recipe in the crock pot. So basically, you threw 4 chicken breasts in the crock pot, could even be frozen, didn't matter. An entire bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's. I believe it was a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And a couple other things. I can't remember now exactly. And you just go, it's like 2 or 3 things. So that was it. And then you let it go all day. I did not use Sweet Baby Ray's because I wanted to actually be able to eat some of my own dinner that I cooked all day. Even though I know it's a crock pot, I still spent the time making it. And so I didn't use Sweet Baby Ray's. I used a different brand, and I can't remember what it's called right now. I think I have it in the sink. Soaking to raise the bottom. It was J. Hughes Sugar Free because, as I said, I want to be able to eat some of it. And I find that barbecue sauce tends to have a ton of corn syrup in it. So I chose the sugar free, and because of that, it was very runny and very liquidy. Also, part of the reason that happened was because I added water to the bottle and kind of shook it around to get all the sauce out. Would not make that mistake again next time. It was very thin and runny. The sauce was good. I definitely would try it again on pork, maybe on pulled pork, because I think it would be really yummy that way. But wasn't super impressed. Maybe if I had done the Sweet Baby Ray's, I would have been super impressed. But meh, this one was just kind of, I won't call it a full flop, but it wasn't a hit either, for sure. which is a bummer because, whatever. Kind of always want them to be a hit, right? Oh my gosh, it is smelling so, so, so good. They're not quite golden yet, though. They're bubbly, but they're not quite golden yet. I'm gonna turn this in the meantime so you guys will be able to see a little bit better what's happening. Turn it towards the top at least. There we go. Sorry for my messy house in the background. People aren't allowed to come over, so I'm not cleaning. Like I do, like obviously, like wipe up and I clean the bathroom, but like stuff hanging around, I don't really care. I live here, whatever. You don't like it, don't watch. So we're almost to a golden, sort of, kind of. I don't want to be premature, but I kind of am excited to move on to the next round or the next step. I think it's okay if I start adding spices. So I'm going to start with my garlic, like we talked about. Because I have a whole onion in here, I'm doing 1, 2 heaping. Those were heaping, like big. But my motto is never enough garlic. I know not everybody subscribes to that, and that's cool. But it's how I like to cook. And my family doesn't seem to mind, so yay. So we've got onions, garlic, and butter. I will apologize also for the noise that may happen. My side window is open and all the neighborhood kids are playing outside right now. I'm sure the doorbell will ring here in a few minutes for Julian. They all go out together at night. Oh, that was salt, by the way. See, this is why. No cooking show. They all go out. It's really cute. They play together outside. Yes, I let my kid play outside with neighbors. I don't want to hear what you have to say about it. And then they all go inside at 7, sometimes a little sooner, but when the sun starts to go down. And then at 8 o'clock, they all go back out again. I don't know if anybody in your neighborhood is doing this. Oh, that pepper. This is onion powder. I don't know if anybody in your neighborhood is doing this, but they all go out and they howl at 8 o'clock, which is really super cute. The first night they went out, this is garlic powder. First night they went out, Julian and his little friend Hadley, they were howling back and forth at each other like they were actual wolves or dogs or something. It was adorable. It was like one of them would, ah, and then the other one would go back, ah, ah. And they had this whole howl conversation. And then when they were done howling, they looked at each other and went, bye, and ran inside. It was like the cutest thing ever. So I would not be surprised if the phone or the doorbell rings here in the next few minutes for them asking him to come out and play. He's got headphones on right now, so we may not hear the doorbell. So we'll see. All right, so in my pot, and it is bubbling. I don't know if you can hear the little sizzles, but onions, garlic, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and butter. And the onions are starting to get nice and translucent. I need one of those like mounty camera things that's above so you could see what's happening in here. And so that way I could show you without giving you freaking vertigo or whatever by picking up the camera. It'll be like you're watching Blair Witch Project. Ugh, did anybody sit through that? It was nauseating. The movie itself was god awful and stupid, but I walked out of there kind of all shook up because it was nauseating to watch. That whole shaky, yeah, not a fan. It was kind of stupid. Although it did scare the shit out of me a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a person who watches scary movies. I wasn't allowed to as a kid. And I don't really like them. I like adrenaline. I don't like fear. There's a difference to me. I like suspense. I don't like fear. Again, there's a difference. So I wasn't a huge fan of those kinds of movies when I was younger. Whenever I went to like slumber parties and stuff, the girls always have to get a scary movie, and I would always make them watch that first and then watch the comedy movie after because I didn't want to have to watch the scary movie right before we went to sleep. Big brain. God, I've been hanging out with my kids far too much. Sorry. All right. Like I said, I don't want to be premature, but it's like, how long do I let these freaking onions go? It's kind of golden, sort of. I have no patience. Have you learned? No patience. I think I used it all in my 20 years of being a preschool teacher. I used every ounce of it, and whatever is left goes to my kids. And unfortunately, it ain't a lot. I own it. It's real. Whatever. All right. I think we're golden enough. So next step in the recipe was to add the vodka. And you let that cook. This is what I love about this recipe. It was so like loosey-goosey. Literally, it says, add the vodka. Hang on, I gotta sneeze because of the pepper. Oh, thank you, love. Sorry, excuse me. So it's so loosey-goosey. It goes, add a cup of vodka and cook it till it's not that strong anymore, like 10 minutes or so. It's my kind of recipe. So I'm guessing that means if you don't want to cook away all the strength, cook it less than 10 minutes before you add the tomatoes. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. All right, so my 2 cups of vodka. And ooh, I hope that smell cooks away, just saying, because it smells like you could disinfect something up in here. Is this what it always is supposed to smell like? Really? Thank God you add the tomatoes. Ugh. See again? Can't do the vodka straight up. Has to have like OJ or Crystal Light something or cranberry or something. At one point, I had a friend of mine and we actually mixed Henry's, which is kind of like White Claw but cheaper. We mixed that with vodka. Don't recommend that if you have to walk anywhere or form sentences or thoughts or function in any way or be able to go to the bathroom by yourself. Just helpful hints from Kelly. It's really, really strong. Like, I feel like I'm going to get drunk just standing here. It's kind of ridiculous. How do like chefs that make this in Italian restaurants? Dude, you gotta give me the scoop. How do you not like get a buzz or a contact high or like I don't know. It doesn't smell good right now at all. Like, ugh. I hope that changes. All right. So your pierogies, were they homemade or were they packaged already? Because if you say homemade, I'm going to be asking for that recipe too, by the way, Tina. And when you do your pierogies, I would love to know how you do them. My favorite way to do them is to boil them first. And then once they're soft and cooked, I like to throw them in the pan with butter and onions and saute them and get the outside kind of crispy. Yes, it's a lot of work. Yes, it's time consuming, but yes, it's the best way to eat them, in my opinion. Jason doesn't have patience. So Jason throws them in the deep fryer, which is okay. They just get super crispy, kind of a little bit hard on the outside, and it's not my fave. But whatever. And when we do our pierogies, we pretty much always eat them with kielbasi. I don't know why. It's just one of those things like peas and carrots. You just think like they go together, or peanut butter and jelly, whatever. So we always do it with kielbasi. I don't know that I've ever had pierogies any other way. So I would love to know if you serve them in another way or with something else. I would love to hear about what that is and have some new ideas. Because again, this is the awesome thing about having 2 kids. They almost never like the same thing unless it's junk food or stuff that's not super nutritious or even just stuff you want to cook. So like when we make that kielbasa and pierogies, Gavin will eat the pierogies but doesn't like kielbasi, and Julian will eat the kielbasi and doesn't like pierogies. So there's a lot of chicken nuggets and nonsense that happens up in my house. For a very long time, I stopped making all the things that I like to eat and make and cook and taste because my kids are picky as all get out. I was going to say the F word. You thought I was, didn't you? You who know me, you knew it was coming. I censored myself in case there are kiddos around. Should be proud of me. Anyway, my kiddos are picky AF, and so I can't find too many things that they both like. And so I stopped making a lot of the things that I really like. And Jason and I both really like to eat, and I really like to cook. And I got tired of not having the things that we liked and eating chicken nuggets and fish sticks and mac and cheese and those kinds of things every damn night. And I didn't spend the money and the time and put my body through everything I did with weight loss surgery in 2012 to eat fried crap every night and get fat again. Wasn't having it. So I decided that I didn't care if they didn't like those things, that I was going to make them anyway, and that we would always keep the house, or the freezer rather, stocked with plenty of chicken nuggets and frozen pizzas. And there's always cereal and Hot Pockets and leftovers and lunch meat and lots of other things. And so that's what they do if they don't like what I'm cooking. And now I get to still eat the things that I like, and nobody gets to yell at me anymore. So there we are. I'm sure that there are those that would tell me, and I'm sure my mother, if she was around, would be telling me, you make them eat what you make. This is dinner and that's it, or they go hungry. I could be that, but then I have to listen to them whine all freaking night about how they're starving, and I don't want to do that. So as long as I don't have to cook the other meal and they can take care of it themselves, we're good. And at 10 and 14, there is absolutely zero reason why they can't take care of it for themselves. So that's how we do it up in my house. Mother of the Year, I am not, but I'm real, and they love me for it. So there we go. This is not smelling any less strong, by the way. Just saying, like, the smell is not going away. It's still really alcohol-y. Although at least I now smell the onions and stuff with it. It's just alcohol-soaked onions, which, ooh, doesn't sound very appealing. Although, do they put onions? Isn't that with something with blue cheese and olives and onions or some nonsense? And they put that in some drink. Again, not big drinkers up in my house. I think I have still that story I told you about the Henrys mixed with the vodka. Yeah, that happened in October. I think I still have one left, and it was only a 4-pack. So that's how big of a drinker we are in this house. I actually, I had a bottle of white wine in my fridge for like 2 months, and I ended up using most of it for cooking instead of drinking. So until I discovered Scout and Cellar wines, I have to tell you, I'm going to give my girl Jess a little plug here and a little commercial. I didn't really care for wine. I liked the taste, but it made me feel like crap the next day. I always woke up with a headache every single time, no matter how much freaking water I downed before I went to bed. Always woke up with a headache. Just, it didn't make me feel good at all when I drank it, and I thought, it's not worth it. The taste is not that awesome that it's worth me feeling like crap the next day. So I kind of stopped drinking wine. And then my girl Jess started selling Scout and Cellar wines. If you are not familiar with their wines, look them up. If you are interested in buying any, hit me up and I will get you her info. She is an amazing person, and anything I could ever do to support her, I will do. So if you are looking for some wines, let me know. But Scout and Cellar wines, what I like about them is they are clean crafted. And I did not know what that meant because I'm wine stupid. So I went to a wine tasting and I learned about it. And her demo is awesome. She does this whole thing where she puts things in the glass and shows you, and I won't ruin it because if I do, I'm going to be doing a wine party actually here in a few weeks, a virtual one. And if you want to come, you'll get to see it. So I don't want to ruin it. But it's pretty great and pretty powerful, I have to say. At least I felt like it was. But in that demo, she explains clean crafted. And what that means is it is made cleanly. The grapes are organic. There's not pesticides. There's no added sugars. There's no added dyes. They put that deep purple, whatever nonsense dye in wines, in red wines to give it that uniform color. There's none of that. They're all responsibly sourced, which I really like. And the no added sugar is amazing for somebody like me who did have weight loss surgery, because I can't do all the added sugars. Like I said earlier, with not wanting to use regular barbecue sauce because of the sugar, same thing with the sugars in Scout and Cellar. So I liked that there was no added sugars. So now I don't mind drinking wine so much. I don't think it's been quite 10 minutes. I think I've got another 3 minutes until that we hit that mark. Okay, the smell has dissipated a little bit. A little bit. Not much, though. Let me give you a peek as to what's going on. Sorry for the whiplash, peeps. Ready? So that's what we got going on right now. In another few minutes, I will add the tomatoes. And then at that point, we're kind of done with the cook part. It's supposed to simmer for an hour, cooking or stirring rather occasionally. And as I said in the beginning of the video, for those of you that may have missed it, I am certainly not going to bore all of you standing here talking to you for an hour. So I'm going to let this go once I add the tomatoes, which I'll show you that part. And then in an hour, I'll let you know what happens now in case you're not able to come back later. And of course, if I don't get a chance to post later. But so the next step after this cooks for an hour, the tomatoes and the onion, garlic, spices, butter mixture, you let that simmer and stir occasionally. And then at the end of the hour, you add a pint, although I will be adding 2 pints of heavy cream. And then you simmer that for another 20 minutes. And supposedly then it's going to be done. So we will see if it turns out as good as I hope it's going to. Vodka sauce is one of my favorite types of sauce. But who am I kidding? I love all of them. I love tomato sauce. I love Alfredo sauce. Primavera. It doesn't matter. They're all delicious. I'm an Italian girl at heart, and I love every single bit of it. I've never met an Italian food I didn't like, except for some of the things that have tentacles and things. Not a fan. Not a fan. I can do some calamari, but if it looks like it's going to reach out and grab me, I'm iffy. I'm iffy. I'll be honest. And I don't want to do anything that still has a face. I can't eat anything that still has a face. I know I'm eating meat. I'm not ashamed to eat meat. I'm not worried about eating meat. Top of the food chain. I got no problem with it at all. It's delicious. I can't eat anything with a face. So a fish, I don't mind some fish. I'm not a huge fish lover. It's like salmon, not a fan. I like the white fishes. But if you bring me out a fish that's whole on the plate, take it back. I'm not doing it. I went to a pig roast once. My girl Sherry, do you remember that? We went to a party at a friend's house, and they were from the Philippines. And so they did this big pig roast, and it was awesome, and it smelled fan-flippin-tastic all day long. And, you know, I love me some pork. I love bacon. I love pork chops, the whole nine. So I was excited. It comes time to eat, and they tell everybody to come into the table and grab some meat, and there is the entire pig. I swear, I think the eyeballs were still in it, and they were open. That's the way it looked to me when I walked in. I know pig roast is typically done that way with the apple in the mouth and all that, and that's fine. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed me some of that pork. It was delicious, but I couldn't go in the room and get my own food. The dude I was dating at the time, his name is George, and I made him go in and get me food because I can't eat anything with a face. Sorry. I know it had a face at one time, but the face is not looking at me when it's a juicy steak or a chicken leg or a pork chop. It can't have something with face. Call me crazy, don't care. All right, so now I think we are ready to add these tomatoes. So let me turn you guys just a little bit back to the pot. There you go. And we're going to add those tomatoes. Please don't smash me. I didn't put my apron on this time. I suppose it's not that big of a deal. I'm wearing dark colors today. With the green, you would see sauce on my green. I decided to embrace the green. Everybody has made lots of comments and compliments on my hair. And for those of you that didn't know, I was going for blue. Blue is beyond black and gray. Blue is my favorite actual color. Um, and so that's what I was going for. Kind of a mermaidy kind of vibe, you know. But I'm not a hairdresser. And I was stupid and didn't reach out to any of the amazing hairdressers that I know and love so much to ask their advice or opinion or ask for their expertise. And so I just followed the directions on the box. And the box just said to, do the bleach and then do the color. And it didn't mention anything about toner, which I didn't know anything about. And so I bleached my hair and it turned yellow. And for anybody that knows anything about colors, yellow and blue make green. So here we are. But I've gotten lots of compliments, and so I've decided to embrace it for many reasons. Number one, I'm Irish. My mom would have loved it. Kelly is actually a shade of green. For those of you that don't know, look it up. It's a shade of green, I promise. I match my tattoo, sort of. I mean, it's a little bit of a different shade, but, I match. So, yeah. I think those are it. Those are the reasons. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to go with the green. I haven't decided. I did buy some blue just in case I want to fix it. I may still go over it with blue, or I may just let it grow out and be a highlight in the front and then get over it. I don't know. We'll see. The one thing I have been enjoying about quarantine is those kinds of decisions don't need to be made right now, and I don't care. My hair looks awful for a little while. Don't give a shit. Sorry. The other thing I'm taking advantage of during this quarantine with my hair, because I was kind of a little worried about how this might go, was where I shaved on the side of my head. I kept thinking, gosh, that grow out period, oh, that's going to suck. It's going to look awful, and I'm going to have to figure out how to do it every day. And then quarantine happened. So that's my one of my silver lining things from quarantine. So I'm growing in a little bit. You could say, actually, a lot of it. I'm starting to get floofy over my ears, which is kind of funny. I think I'm to the point soon where I'm going to have to start putting it down before it starts winging out. But so far, I've been able to get this side to cover, and then you can't tell. So we're good. So I've been trying to embrace those little silver lining quarantine moments, because if I didn't, I think I might open a vein. There are days that I am just, it sucks. It sucks so bad. So bad. I will tell you that being an extrovert in a house full of introverts, not always a fun time. Just going to say that right there. I've tried to keep some normalcy going on and try to make great memories. Hey, this is a great time we can spend together. Let's play games. Let's do this. Let's do that. And you know what I met with? Thanks, Mom, but I'd rather play video games. So that's their social right now. It's the only social they have. So I'm trying to be very super understanding and be the awesome mom and go, okay, you can play for a while with your buddies. Go talk to them. It's cool. But it's killing me. Just saying. So writing is a pretty great hobby and has helped me quite a bit. I actually wish I did more of it. I am finding the creative process right now is very hard, and I think that's because it's where my head is at. I'm finding motivation very difficult. So whatever, it's real. I'm sure all of you have one thing or another that you're struggling with quarantine, whether it be trying to be your kid's teacher or trying to stay healthy or being concerned about loved ones or whatever it is. There's a stressor that we all have now that we did not have before. And we're all dealing with it in different ways, and the whole we're all in the same boat, I don't feel like applies. I know there are people who would disagree with me on that. But that's my opinion. I think everybody is literally in their own little island right now, because everybody's life is different. Everybody's circumstance is different. Everybody's view on this virus is different. Everybody's life experience up to here is different. So I don't feel like we're in the same boat. I feel like we are all in boats And that's about the end of our common experience. But that's just me. So whatever. Sorry I got all political and deep on you there. I was just supposed to be making sauce. See? This because I don't have anybody to talk to. Get me going and I ain't gonna shut up. Who needs a cooking show? I need a talk show. That's what I need. Gosh, that would be so fun. I don't know. What kind of guests would I have? I don't want to be Ellen. Julian. Pitiful. Julian. Somebody's at the door, and I'm sure it's one of your friends. Please go look. No, go now, please. Thank you. So yeah, what kind of guests would I have? I don't know. I think that I would want to keep it super fun and light. So I don't think I would ever have anybody political on, ever. But nowadays, I feel like in Hollywood, all those MFs are trying to be all political too. So that would really narrow my field, my field of possible guests. Interesting. Maybe I shouldn't have a talk show. Or I know, I would have a talk show like Ricky Lake had, where it was like real people, not celebrities, real people. That's the kind of talk show I want. I want to hear your story. Way better. All right, so I've got the tomatoes are incorporated with everything. They're mixed pretty well. It's bubbling. I'm going to turn this down. I was on a pretty high temp before. Like I said, I was on a 7 out of 9. I'm going to turn this down to the low simmer as it called for. Ooh, didn't mean to turn off. And just let this go for the hour. By that point, I'll have the heavy cream because I forgot to get it at the store, so Hubs is bringing it home on his way from work. I'll be able to add that and then make the radiator and we'll all be golden. I will take pictures later and share them on the comments below so you can see what the finished product turned out to be like. If you try to make vodka sauce yourself, I would love to hear how it turns out. If you had like a super big success with it and you did something differently than I did, please let me know what your recipe was because, you know, I'm always up for tweaking. And I will figure out, maybe I'll start doing this once a week. We'll see. Gives me something to do, even if nobody freaking watches it. Although I'm excited that 5 of you have been watching. I've seen it go up as high as 6, and then it was down to 2 for a while. So I'm not sure who all is watching still. If it was people from before, or if it's new peeps. Like I said, with this new live, I can't see unless you comment. I can't see who's there. So thank you for watching, 5 of you. I appreciate that. I'm not sure what next week's menu holds yet. I've been wanting to try to do at least one recipe a week that's brand new to me that I've never done before. So maybe that's the recipe that I will video. That's a little bit of a scary thought because it could go disastrous, but it could also be amazing or comical or just downright entertaining. So maybe that's my plan. I'll keep you posted. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night. Be safe, be healthy, be kind. Love you. Yes, and see, stupid lie.